Hey everyone, this is Chris Crazy House. Long time no see. I haven't been doing a lot of videos only because I've been in the trenches working on completing one of my coloring books. But now that is actually done, I want to get back into doing videos and get this channel back on track. So that's where I've been, and that's where I'm at right now, and that's where I'm heading to. Let me start with this story right here. And I really wanted to talk about this as soon as I saw it early Monday morning. And that is this variant cover that is a tie-in with the new Wonder Woman movie, Wonder Woman 1984. And the variant cover was done by, I believe the company is called Rooster Teeth, but the name of the actual artist who did the cover is Robin Eisenberg. I don't know who she is. I don't know what kind of work she's done before. But I wanted to talk about this because I'm going to try my best to give this a balanced critique, but also I'm going to do my own version of it or showcase my own version of it at the end of this video. So I want you to sit back and check that out at the end of this particular video. So first, just let me say this as far as what I experienced when I first saw this cover. I actually saw it before I started seeing people report about it. I saw it maybe 3 or 4 days before I saw the first video about it, and I saw it posted somewhere. I think it was on Twitter or Instagram. I can't remember which one. But I thought that this was just some random fan art from maybe a Tumblr page or from some young person in art school, or maybe someone who's into that Cal Arts Adventure Time Steven Universe style of artwork, and they were doing just some fan art on their own. I did not realize that this was actually the cover that was going on an official book published by DC Comics. So when I saw it, I was kind of just very dismissive of it, and I just kind of went on about my business. But then I saw the brother Sean James, he did a video about it and showed that, yes, this is actually a cover to a real DC comic book. And I know it's not the main cover, it's actually a variant, but still, the fact that this would get through editorial and this would be the final idea that they would sanction and allow this to be on a cover of one of their books shows just how far DC Comics has fallen. And to be honest, this is no disrespect to the actual artist. I mean, if this is your style, this is your style. But even if this is your style, this is not appropriate for a DC Comics cover, especially a comic that is supposed to be a tie-in with, at this point, your most successful franchise, your successful movie, your only successful movie franchise in your comic book movie universe. Wonder Woman has done very well and was actually a decent movie, and people are highly anticipating the sequel. You shouldn't be putting out things like this as your cover. And like I said, I'm just completely put off by the fact that this even made it past editorial, that they allowed something like this to go up there. It shows that there is a big problem with editorial, and now I see why there is a massive layoff going on with editorial over at DC Comics. Because this should not have been on the cover of one of your comic books, okay? And the company that had such amazing cover art by people from Neil Adams to Ed McGuinness, and this is what you put out there as your main cover. You have titans like Jim Lee drawing for you, and you're hiring outside artists to do these amazing covers, and this is what you put out there. You know, it's amazing that this made it through, and I don't understand what is going on in the minds of people over at DC editorial for even to allow something like this to happen. Okay, when you've had such top artists and top writers and top creators, top inkers. You could have had a top inker do this and done a better job. And the reason I'm saying this is because I know, coming up through the ranks of just working in animation and working a little bit in publishing, as someone who's worked as an artist where I've done covers or done pinups and been sent back to the drawing board with stuff that I thought was great. Usually your first rendition usually never gets picked. You always have to tweak it somehow. And I would think that this would have gone through a couple of permutations. Like, I would have sent her back and said, okay, could you make it more dynamic? Can you make the pose more dynamic? Like, I don't even care if you're going to make Wonder Woman thick, but I need you to put a little bit more work into it. Because this style could work if you're going to do a more cartoony style, like maybe like, if anyone remembers those what comic was that? Was it Ecstatic? They came out way back when, where the style is a little bit different than what you would normally see on a comic book cover for an X-Men book, but it worked because these people were actually putting in some work there. You can't just have a character stand, and if you're going to have a character just standing there, it better be something unique about that art style. This is not unique. Like I said, this is something you can see anywhere on the internet. You should have something that's going to grab you. If you were walking by on a bookshelf, it's something that should grab you and make you want to pick it up and see what's inside. That's usually the whole purpose of a cover. This would not make me pick up the book at all. I would skip over this book immediately and go grab something else. Like, if you're going to just have a character standing there like this, it better be some unique artwork that's going to grab you. You better be like Frank Quietly or something like that, where your art style is so unique that you can have a character standing there, but the way you draw characters with different body types and different facial expressions will make someone pick up the book because it just looks interesting. And you kind of want to see where this is going. Because I'll admit, there are some top artists, like I just mentioned Frank Quietly, who will just have a character standing there, but there is some quality to his artwork that is almost polarizing to a lot. Some people don't like it. They say his characters are ugly. I think his characters are just human looking. That's how people look. But there's a quality to his artwork that makes you want to pick it up and see what's going on there. So I can understand that, but with this right here, this does not show me someone who is being considerate of wanting to make sales for this book. And it definitely shows an editorial team that doesn't give a damn about getting sales for this book at all. I don't know what their purpose was behind it, unless their entire purpose was just to cause controversy. I've seen some people give that hypothesis, that this was kind of their last ha-ha, rub it in the face of the fans and kind of piss on the fans and say that this is what we're going to put out there. You need to go along with this. But like I said, as far as a consumer, this cover would not make me want to pick it up. And like I said, I know it probably seems like I'm coming off harsh on the artist, but I kind of put this in the editorial's court, because I've been in this position so many times in my own career where I've submitted things and people say, okay, this is not that good. Can you, or maybe not, it's not this good, but can you do the pose this way, or kind of give me more of this or that? I've done different iterations of things, and I've come out better for it. I've come out with greater artwork for that, for doing things better, and just sitting there and thinking about what I could do to shine and make this something worthy of being on the cover of like, I've done children's books, I've done video game boxes, I've done advertisements for social games, I've done stuff that's on fantasy book covers. You know what I mean? Like, there are certain things that I've had to go back to the drawing board, and that's why I like to do steps. I like to do like just a sketch first and submit the sketch. That I can't honestly say, looking at this, that there was even any type of sketch giving first to even see where this was going, because this person should have submitted a sketch first, then maybe some inks, and then the colors. Like, If I got this as a sketch and the person said this is going to be the cover, I'd be like, no, go back to the drawing board and give me something else. Or show me multiple versions of what you want to do, and then maybe we can kind of pick one that we like and you can move forward with that. This does not seem like that's what happened. And it's a shame that they would do this, especially to one of your major characters like Wonder Woman. She's one of the big three at DC. At least I thought so. Maybe she's not anymore, but not when you're going to do something like this. And like I said, if it's going to be a tie into a movie, you got to do better than this, folks. Like, and in my version, I'll show you my version here. I took some of the themes that they said that they were going for, and the fact that they wanted to do something that was tied into the 80s. And I'm giving you here an 80s version of Wonder Woman. So as someone who actually grew up in the 80s, I knew some of the style trends. Like, that's where I kind of started having obviously as a young boy, I'm attracted to women. So the women of the 80s I was seeing, I was like, this is what I find attractive. It might not be stylish and what is attractive today, but when you were a young boy in the 80s, this is what you saw. So you had the women with the big hair. Didn't matter what ethnicity they were. A lot of women had big hair back then. Women had the suits with and the shirts with the shoulder pads. Women had that workout gear that was kind of tight around in the crotch area, but they had the leggings and they had the big ass socks, the big knee high socks, the ankle warming socks. So that's why I kind of went for in this piece. And I even gave her the headband and the makeup that you would kind of see in the new wave / punk scene back then. Madonna used to wear makeup like this, and what's her name, Annie Lennox, when she was with Eurythmics, she used to wear makeup like this, and Grace Jones as well. So that's why I was trying to give, and I gave her, the big W earring to kind of tie it all together, as well as the magic lasso. And instead of just adding stars in her hair, I added some sparkles to the lasso and to the earring or whatever. And I kind of gave that same kind of grid 80s feel, but I made it a little bit more neon to where it, stands out a little bit more and looks a little bit better than what she had. Like, I don't know what the original cover that had just this pinkish to yellow gradient. I didn't think that looked good at all. I think you could have just went with this grid type background and it been a little bit more. Because, like, look at the actual Wonder Woman poster. You'll see that has a better 80s type design aesthetic than what this comic book cover had. And I'm not even going to get into the body type thing because, like I said, that's a little bit more subjective as to what you might want to look at or what you might like. There is a way to draw thick body types. I did not do that for this because we're talking about the 80s, and this body type is kind of what was popular in the 80s for women. Like, if you think about for women that I used to like back then, like Vanity, or a lot of the women that I used to watch on Soul Train, this was kind of the body type that you would see and the type of look you would see on like Soul Train or Solid Gold Soul. If anyone remembers that show, this is kind of look that was kind of coming out of the 70s and into the 80s that we looked to. Or movies like Breakin' or whatever, when you saw some of the things that the women would wear. This is kind of like what we were seeing. So that's why I was trying to put that into the design aesthetic. But see, that comes from someone who actually grew up in the 80s and got to see it firsthand. I got to see my sister with the big hair, my cousins with the giant hair and the asymmetrical hair and whatnot, and the headbands and the whole Minneapolis Prince look. I saw that coming up, so I was able to incorporate that into my design here. I don't think this person, I don't even know if this person was even born in the 80s. She might be a 90s baby from what I understand. So I don't know if she got the purpose. But that, like I said before, that is the purpose of editorial, to tell you what they want as far as the design goes. And the fact that they don't even have that type of hierarchy system anymore, where editorial and your publisher can guide you as to what they want proves that the comic industry has sunk into an all-time low. And the fact that, I mean, even if you're not going to listen to your fan base, you still need to have someone at the top who can understand what's going on out there so that they can give you something better than this. This is below lukewarm as far as a design. And that is why it's gotten the backlash that it's gotten. It's gotten all the attention, but for the completely wrong reasons. So you guys let me know how you feel about it in the comments section. I hope you enjoyed my version and my explanation for my version. It's a simplified thing. I didn't want to spend too much time on this, so I just made a simple, just a quick vector artwork. Probably did it in the same amount of time as this person who did this one. But, you know, I didn't want to spend too much time because I have other projects of my own and I don't like spending too much time doing fan art. But this is what it is, and I tried to give you my reasons behind what I did. You guys let me know how you like it in the comments section. Anyway, Chris Crazy House signing out. Peace.